What's up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1.
We're back, and we're here to answer your questions in another episode of the Four, the Greater.
That was really nice. It was like a karate wall, like wah. I hurt my forearm. This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, simply comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And that is what Winterwolf did. He asks, since it's rumored that Leman Russ could be one of the next Primarchs to return, and since he said that he would only return for the Wolftime, what do you think might happen if he really returns, and what could his Wolftime be? So Wolftime is supposed to be the end of times.
Not like Ragnarok.
Yeah, when like the Imperium is about to be destroyed, but I think that GW is they're gonna do one of two things. They're either gonna write it so that Wolftimes actually means the destruction of Fenris, and we've already kind of seen that with 1,000 Suns and Magnus, or the other possibility is that GW just scratches that and says like Leman Russ had to return ahead of schedule because he saw some threat. I think it's the Tyranids. I think the Tyranids have attacked Fenris before. They're going to do it again. And this time they're going to bring a force that's like way more powerful than any attack that Fenris has withstood. Leman Russ is going to return. And then after the battle, after he saves Fenris, he's going to say, okay, I have to return into exile to fight my people. But because the model is going to be out, they're going to say that he's going to bring with him certain, they're not called chapters, right? What are they called? Companies.
Oh, the Great Wolf Company?
Yeah. So he's going to bring like one or two Great Wolf Companies with him so that you as the player can play as him and those companies, but still not be connected to like the greater lore.
It's a good idea. There are rumors that he will be the next model out. Since we're almost done with all of the codices going to 8th edition. We've got Orcs, Space Wolves. What else is left?
That's the Sororitas.
Oh yeah, the Sisters.
But that's
battle.
coming in 2019.
Mm-hmm. But we're almost there, guys. Yeah,
and I really don't agree with the rumor though that he will come back with the Codex of the Space Wolves.
Because that's what we thought was coming for the Dark Angels. We thought the Lion would be the next Primarch.
We were disappointed.
But if, because in my opinion, what Wolf Time just means that it's coming closer to another great battle between the Imperium and Chaos, and that will probably be. Because like right now, that's what they're alluding to. They're gaining forces with the Primaris Marines. Gilliman is leading this, and so he'll need another general to be in charge. And I think Leman Russ would be that general.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
A ver qué pasa.
Gibberish.
Next question.
This one's by Darth Revan. How many seconds would it take for Sly Marbo to obliterate the Chaos Gods? And how much stronger is he than the Emperor?
No and no.
No.
Yeah. He's like a Chuck Norris type of thing. Chuck Norris was defeated by Bruce Lee, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Next question comes from Richard Lee. Coincidence? I think not. He asks, does Menard's blue uniform indicate their allegiance to Ultramar?
Yeah.
A little bit. Next question.
This one's by Bartosz Tomazeski. That's probably not the right pronunciation, but he says, greetings from Poland. Hey.
We're going to be, I'm going to be in Poland in the start of July.
Nice. Are you going to eat those, what are those?
Pierogies.
Pierogies. I was going to say paninis, but that's not it.
I'm going to eat pierogies. Did you guys know that there's a larger Polish population in Chicago than there is in most cities in Poland?
Oh, that's interesting.
What's this question?
Can other races use the metal that Necrons are made of? Necrodermis.
Kinda.
Well, it's speculated that that's what Ferris's Manus' hands were. Necrodermis, but it's never 100% confirmed. I'm pretty sure they can, but Necrodermis is like living metal. It's made of really tiny Necrons. Well, not Necrons themselves, but like Necron scarabs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean...
Yeah, like I don't think that they'll activate the same way that Necrons use it, like with the reconstruction or whatever. But I do know that like orcs can take Necron tech and like use it for themselves, and it's just like a shield. Like they become Ard boys, but they don't do the same thing that Necrons do, which like is the whole reanimation.
Right.
Next question comes from Alucard Tepes. Why the Emperor didn't just shoot Chaos in the jetpack? Yeah, exactly. Right, and then pushed him into the black hole, the little black square hole.
Yeah.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Next question.
We already covered this one. On to the next.
I have one from Edgar Negma. Is it possible for a Gene Stealer to go rogue and not call the fleet, staying the leader of a growing cult forever, since they are cut off from the hive mind? Can they also develop their own thoughts and goals? Love the channel, guys. Convinced me to go out and buy an army next paycheck.
Hey.
Also, we'll check out your guys' Patreon. Awesome. What army are you gonna start? Question.
Gene Stealer cults.
So the Gene Stealer models are really nice. Like they look really nice. Mm-hmm. They look pretty. But to answer the question, no.
Yeah, they kind of have a, what's it called? The Patriarch, I believe that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
He has a direct link to the hive mind, and they're kind of sending him like, because what they are is they're an advanced force that is there to destabilize the economy, the military, the overall structure of the planet they're in, so that the greater Tyranid force could come in and devour the biomass. I guess, I mean, I don't really see it happening. However, if somehow that hive mind link is cut off, then maybe they'll go rogue and do their own thing. But with each generation, the population that gets infected with this Gene Stealer, they're going to look more and more like Gene Stealers. So eventually it'll just be a world full of Gene Stealers.
Yeah. I do think that, like what you said, so like if you want to start a Gene Stealer cult thing and you want to say that it went rogue, what you can say is that the main hive fleet of that Gene Stealer that cult has been destroyed. Yeah. So the biggest is Leviathan that was destroyed. Leviathan was killed off. You could say that a Gene Stealer cult from Leviathan was sent out, or a tendril of Leviathan was sent out. And then Leviathan was wiped out by the Imperium and the Eldar and the Tau. And now you have a standalone rogue Gene Stealer cult that's not friendly towards other Tyranids or Gene Stealers. But yeah, so it went rogue. Really, it was abandoned.
Yeah.
Like that Japanese man. Did you hear about that? There was a Japanese guy fighting in World War II, and he was sent to some island to hold it. And for...
Just one man?
Yeah, it was just one guy.
Hey, here, go take care of that island.
Or something like that. So I think it was like a group, and maybe he was the only survivor.
Uh-huh.
But he ended up like controlling and ruling that little island for either Japan or Korea. And then, 40 years later, like they discovered him, and he was like, "Is the war over?" It's like, "Yeah, it's been over for a while." But he was still fighting. Kind of the same thing with the Gene Stealers. That Gene Stealer cult is gonna meet up with like Kraken and say, "Is Leviathan still there?" And then the Kraken Gene Stealers are gonna be like, "Leviathan has been destroyed for over 40 years." That's a really long story.
Yeah, it reminded me of like Twilight Zone or something like that.
Is that the thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you watch that other one? The modern
Black Mirror?
Yeah.
No.
It's pretty interesting. Next question.
Noob Gamer. What does wholesome mean?
Noob Gamer. That's a wholesome millennial term. I hope that helps. Next question comes from Michael Howell. Do STDs give power to Slanesh or Nurgle?
Yes.
we answered this before, right?
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
This is by Morpheus28993. Do black holes exist in the 40K universe? And if so, are there weapons that can use to create them? Yeah, black holes are a thing. I don't know of any weapons used to create black holes.
Yeah, not off the top of my head. If any creature is going to use it, it's Necrons. Because Necrons are really good at physics.
Mm-hmm.
They're the nerds.
They're the nerds of 40K.
Yeah. This question comes from Eric Slay. This is the very first time in Greater WAAAGH history that someone answers their own question. At least that I remember. But it's good because it kind of frees us to do other things. Like explain this. Anyways, so Eric asks, why does melee even exist in 40K? And his answer was, because you can't eat ass from afar. Yeah. Next question.
Skylar the Man 1. What do you think would happen if Kroot ate a Tau? And why do you think the Tau don't want the Kroot eating their dead? Well, for one, they're allies. I think Kroot are forbidden to eat other Kroot, which would make sense as to why they don't eat Tau. I also think this was because it was kind of written in their thingamabobs. You know, if you join the greater good, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that, can't eat the Tau. And I think is because if maybe they eat ethereals, then they'll start getting the ability to control the Tau, and obviously they wouldn't want that. So that's what I think.
Yep. And then last question. Do you have one? I have one from... Oh no. Alright.
We already used that one.
Michael Howe asks a lot of questions, which is really, really good. But we've already read those. This one comes from Philip Guazelli. What about the Tau supplementing their forces with a client race that has psychic abilities? The biggest use for this would be true warp travel. They already have a species of warp powerful creatures. They're the floating polar bears. What are they called?
Demiurge? Demurge? No.
Demiurge? No, those are the midgets. Those are the stone midgets.
Stones. Man, I'm forgetting it. But yeah, those.
Yeah.
Because I know the Talaran, they're the dog warriors.
Even though they look like reptiles.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so they do, and they don't. I don't know why they don't use true warp travel. I think it's just the warping effects, the mutating effects. Because what you need to understand is when an Imperial ship goes into the warp, they have a Geller field, and that Geller field protects them from the warp corroding the battle or the battle barge itself. A Tau won't have that. They might have somebody who is like an astropath in a way, but they can't truly navigate the warp, and they can't produce a Geller field because they don't have the technology to do so.
Right. And that's gonna basically you're signing yourself to die if you do that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. And yeah, don't forget we have a Patreon channel. If you guys want to support us on Patreon, a simple $1 a month helps us create more videos. If you can't, simply by liking, commenting, and sharing our videos, it really helps out the channel. And thanks so much for watching, guys.
Yeah. Again, if we didn't answer your question, we'll answer it next time. We do this quite a bit, so keep on asking your question and keep on liking the questions you think we should answer. Yeah, that's all we got. This is the Gersh 1 and the Alchemist of
Sound.
And we're out of here.